Pilot Badge, for officers who complete Air Force flight training and mission qualification to fly fixed-wing or rotary-wing aircraft. Proves they can plan, brief, fly, and recover missions in all weather and at night. Remotely Piloted Aircraft Pilot Badge, for officers trained to command unmanned aircraft from the ground, planning, sensor employment, and strike or surveillance while coordinating with crews in the air and on the ground.
Navigator Combat Systems Officer or Observer Badge, for officers qualified to navigate and run sensors, electronic warfare, weapons, and mission systems with the pilot, first created during the Second World War. The current badge is designated by Air Force instructions as the Navigator and Observer Badge. In 2009, it was renamed the Combat Systems Officer Badge. Air Battle Manager Badge, for officers who control air battles from airborne or ground command and control platforms, directing fighters, bombers, tankers, and surveillance aircraft to win the air picture.
Command and Control Badge, for personnel who run command posts and control centers, alerting, directing, and monitoring forces around the clock. Weapons Director Badge, for controllers who guide fighters to targets, manage intercepts, and deconflict aircraft in busy airspace. Air Traffic Control Badge, for controllers who clear aircraft to taxi, take off, and land safely while sequencing traffic and handling emergencies.
Safety Badge, for professionals who prevent mishaps, aviation, ground, weapons, and occupational through inspections, analysis, and training. Foreman Area Officer Badge, for officers with regional language and culture expertise who advise on security cooperation and plans. Special Tactics Officer Crest, for officers who lead special tactics squadrons, airfield seizure, precision strike control, and rescue under fire. Combat Controller Crest, for specialists who establish assault zones, control air support, and link ground teams to aircraft in combat. Special Reconnaissance Crest, for airmen who conduct close-in reconnaissance, sensors, and environmental prep for special operations. Tactical Air Control Party Flash and Crest, for joint terminal attack controllers who direct close air support with ground units.
Combat Rescue Officer Crest, for officers who command personnel recovery, planning and leading combat search and rescue. Para-Rescueman Crest, for enlisted rescue specialists trained in advanced medicine, parachuting, diving, and mountaineering to recover isolated personnel. Survival, Evasion, Resistance, and Escape Crest, for instructors who teach aircrew to survive, evade capture, resist exploitation, and escape.
Space Operations Badge, for guardians and airmen who plan, operate, and protect space missions, satellites, launch, tracking, and space domain awareness. Cyberspace Operator Badge, for officers who build and defend military networks, run cyberspace missions, and deliver effects in and through the digital domain. Cyber Defense Operations Badge Enlisted, for enlisted specialists who secure networks, hunt threats, and restore systems so missions continue under attack.
Administration Badge, for airmen who manage records, correspondence, and command support that keeps units running. Band Badge, for musicians who represent the service, build morale, and conduct outreach at home and abroad. Public Affairs Badge, for storytellers who inform the public, support media, and advise commanders on communication. Historian Badge, for professionals who capture operations history and lessons for future forces. Manpower and Personnel Badge Enlisted, for specialists who manage staffing, promotions, and assignments. Emergency Management Badge, for responders who prepare for and lead chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, and disaster operations. Civil Engineer Badge, for engineers who build and repair runways, facilities, and utilities, even under fire or disaster conditions. Services Badge Enlisted, for teams who provide food, lodging, fitness, and mortuary affairs so airmen can focus on missions.
Force Support Badge, for officers who lead manpower, personnel, and services to develop and care for the force. Force Protection Badge, for defenders who secure bases, patrol perimeters,
and respond to threats.
Munitions Badge, for experts who manage, build, store, and deliver safe, reliable munitions to the flight line. Maintenance Badge, for officers and enlisted maintainers who keep aircraft and support equipment mission-ready. Missile Maintenance Badge, for technicians who maintain launch facilities, missiles, and support gear for nuclear alert forces. Logistics Readiness Badge, for planners who move people, fuel, and cargo, deployment, distribution, and supply under tight timelines. Supply and Fuels Badge, for specialists who manage parts pipelines and aviation fuel quality and delivery. Transportation Badge, for professionals who run vehicle fleets, cargo movement, and convoy operations.
Air Education and Training Command Instructor Badges, for instructors who teach new airmen, pilots, and specialists. Professional Military Education Badge, for faculty and staff who develop leadership and warfighting education. Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps Instructor Badge, for instructors who mentor high school cadets. Permanent Professor United States Air Force Academy Badge, for tenured professors who educate future officers. Headquarter Air Force Badge, for personnel who serve at the highest Air Force headquarters. Commander's Insignia, for officers currently in command, showing ultimate responsibility for people and mission.
Flight Surgeon Badge, for physicians trained in aviation medicine who keep aircrew healthy, manage flight risks, and advise commanders on human performance and safety. Astronaut Badge, for rated aircrew who fly in space, recognizes astronaut service added to core Air Force aeronautical qualification. Flight Nurse Badge, for nurses qualified to deliver critical care in the air during aeromedical evacuation from takeoff to landing.
Multi-Domain Warfare Officer Badge, for officers trained to integrate air, space, cyber, land, and maritime effects, turning data and fires into one coordinated plan. Weather and Environmental Sciences Officer Badge, for officers who deliver forecasts and environmental intelligence to shape routes, weapons, and timing. Meteorologist Badge, for enlisted and civilian professionals who observe, model, and brief weather to protect forces and improve mission success.
Operations Research Analyst Badge, for analysts who use data, modeling, and experiments to solve complex operations problems and advise leaders. Information Operations Badge, for specialists who plan and assess information activities, protecting friendly narratives and shaping adversary decision-making. Operations Support Badge, for airmen who enable flying missions through planning, airfield management, and unit operation support. Missile Operations Badge, for officers who command nuclear missile crews, operating, securing, and evaluating alert forces. Radar, Airfield, and Weather Systems Badge, for technicians who install and maintain radars, navigation aids, and weather systems that keep flying operations safe. Intelligence Badge, for analysts and operators who collect, fuse, and brief intelligence to drive targeting and protect the force.
Judge Advocate Badge, for attorneys who provide legal advice, prosecute and defend courts-martial, and ensure lawful operations. Chaplain Badges, for clergy who provide spiritual care, counseling, and ethical advice across the force. Paralegal Badge, Enlisted, for enlisted legal professionals who support military justice and command legal needs. Religious Affairs Airman Badge, Enlisted, for enlisted partners who plan and protect religious support operations. Acquisition and Financial Management Badge, for professionals who buy systems, manage budgets, and guide programs from design to sustainment.
Combat Diver Badges, for airmen who complete combat dive training and lead underwater infiltration and rescue tasks. Explosive Ordnance Disposal Badges, for technicians who find, make safe, and dispose of explosive threats. Parachutist Badges, for airmen who complete parachute training and meet jump experience milestones. Freefall Parachutist Badges, for those qualified in military freefall and high-altitude operations. Parachute Rigger Badge, for specialists who pack, maintain, and certify parachutes and airdrop equipment. Recruiting Service Badges for recruiters who find and prepare new airmen. Reserve Recruiting Service Badges for reserve recruiters who build part-time and full-time reserve strength. Honor Guard Badge for ceremonial guards who render honors at national events and funerals. Base Honor Guard Badge for base-level ceremonial teams that honor service members and community events. Special Agent Badge for criminal investigators who protect the force from crime, espionage, and terrorism. Security Forces Badge for defenders who police installations, secure resources, and deploy with combat units.
Medical Corps, Nurse Corps, Dental Corps. Doctors, nurses, and dentists who keep people healthy, treat injuries, and maintain dental readiness, including flight care. Enlisted Medical, Independent Duty Medical Technician. Medical technicians who give hands-on care in clinics, on missions, in the air, and in remote places without a doctor on site. Biomedical Science Corps, Medical Service Corps. Pharmacy, lab, therapy, public health, and medical managers who run supplies, planning, and daily medical operations so units stay ready.
Aircrew Badge, Officer, for officers who serve as non-pilot aircrew, qualified on a platform and position such as weapons, sensors, or loadmaster duties. Aircrew Badge, Enlisted, for enlisted aircrew who qualify on a specific aircraft and crew position through academics, evaluations, and flight hours.
Fire Protection Badges for firefighters who respond to aircraft, structural, and wildland fires and rescue incidents. Marksmanship Competition Badges for shooters who earn points at official matches, rifle and pistol, progressing to distinguished levels. Outstanding Airman Badge for airmen chosen as the service's top performers in a given year.
Some other badges are Air National Guard Recruiter Badges, Chief's 50 Marksmanship Badge, Adjutant General's 20 Combat Badge, National Guard Bureau Organizational Badge, Scientific Applications Specialist Badge, Department of the Air Force Law Enforcement Badges, Civilian.
The Combat Infantryman Badge, CIB, is a U.S. Army award for infantry and special forces soldiers, colonel and below, who personally fought in ground combat while serving in an infantry or special forces unit that's brigade size or smaller, anytime on or after December 6, 1941. If a soldier isn't in an infantry or special forces unit but still sees combat, they can earn the Combat Action Badge instead. Soldiers in medical jobs normally earn the Combat Medical Badge, CMB, except Special Forces medics, 18D, who get the CIB because they're part of Special Forces teams.
The Expert Infantryman Badge, EIB, is a U.S. Army skills badge for infantry and most Special Forces soldiers, not for 18D SF medics. It started in 1943 alongside the Combat Infantryman Badge, CIB. To earn it, a soldier must meet prerequisites and pass tough, graded tests that prove mastery of basic infantry skills. There's no combat requirement. The EIB is different from the CIB. The CIB is for actually fighting in ground combat, while the EIB is for proving expert infantry skills in testing. For soldiers who aren't infantry, medical, or special forces, the Army created the Expert Soldier Badge in 2019. The Expert Field Medical Badge, EFMB, created in 1965, is the non-combat expert badge for medical personnel. U.S. and NATO candidates must pass strict written and hands-on tests. Pass rates are famously low, for example, about 7% in 2017. Anyone may attempt it, but you can only wear it if you held a medical MOS when you earned it. The Guard Tomb of the Unknown Soldier Identification Badge is worn by U.S. Army soldiers who serve as sentinels in the tomb's Honor Guard at Arlington. The Unknown Soldier is a fallen service member whose identity could not be confirmed, representing all missing and unidentified U.S. war dead. The tomb is guarded 24/7 in all weather as a constant act of honor and remembrance.
The Army Explosive Ordnance Disposal Badge honors soldiers qualified to find, make safe, and dispose of explosives.
The badge has 3 levels: Basic, Senior, and Master, and its symbols mean Wreath, Achievement or Sacrifice, Bomb, Primary Threat, Lightning Bolts, Danger and EOD Skill, and Shield, Protection.
The Military Horseman Identification Badge is for soldiers in the 3rd Infantry Regiment's Caisson Platoon who lead the horses at full honors funerals in Arlington. To earn it, you must finish a 9-week horsemanship course, take part in 100 full honors funerals, serve about 9 months in the platoon, and get your commander's recommendation. It's only for Caisson Platoon members and was first awarded in 2017. The Army Driver and Mechanic Badge was created in July 1942 and was later renamed from the Motor Vehicle Badge during the Korean War. It's awarded to soldiers who meet Army standards to operate or maintain military vehicles. Metal bars show what you're qualified on. Driver A for amphibious vehicles, Driver M for motorcycles, Driver T for tracked vehicles, Driver W for wheeled vehicles, Mechanic for maintenance specialists, and Operator S for special equipment.
The Army Staff Identification Badge is an identification badge awarded by the Chief of Staff of the Army to officers, warrant officers, and enlisted soldiers assigned to authorized positions at Headquarters Department of the Army. Marksmanship Qualification Badges, Marksman, Sharpshooter, and Expert, are earned by passing the Army's shooting test on a specific weapon. A small tag names the weapon, such as rifle or pistol, and you wear the most recent level you earned. At official matches, high finishes earn Excellence in Competition badges. They give you points toward a Distinguished Shooter badge, such as Distinguished Rifleman. That badge is a top-tier permanent award. Winning at Department of Defense events against other services can earn Inter-Service Competition badges. The rarest is the Distinguished International Shooter badge, awarded for exceptional results on U.S. teams at major international competitions like World Cups or the Olympics. The Chief's 50 Marksmanship Badge recognizes top 50 shooters at a state championship. Missouri's Adjutant General's 20 Combat Badge goes to the state's best 20 competitors in combat-style matches. Army National Guard Recruiting and Retention Badges mark proven recruiting performance, with special marks for top awards. The National Guard Bureau Organizational Badge shows service at NGB headquarters.
Combat Service Identification Badges, a metal emblem on the Army dress uniform that shows which major unit you served with in combat.
Army Inspector General Identification Badge, worn by soldiers who served as inspectors general, showing they performed impartial inspections, investigations, and assistance at authorized Army IG offices. Military Police Identification Badge, shows a soldier was assigned to official military police duties, law and order, security, and detention operations. Criminal Investigation Division Special Agent Badge, official badge or credentials for Army CID agents to investigate felonies, collect evidence, and make arrests. Counterintelligence Special Agent Badge, official badge or credentials for Army CI agents who conduct counter-espionage and security investigations to protect the force. The Army Parachutist Badge is awarded to any service member who completes the U.S. Army Basic Airborne Course at Fort Benning. Designed in 1941 by then-Captain William P. Yarborough, the badge later gained advanced levels, Senior and Master. The Army Parachute Rigger Badge goes to soldiers who finished the Quartermaster Parachute Rigger course after first completing the Basic Airborne course.
The Military Free Fall Parachutist Badge is awarded to soldiers who are already jump qualified, complete MMF ground training, and graduate the Military Free Fall Parachutist course.
The Army Air Assault Badge is awarded for completing the Air Assault School, which teaches combat air assault operations, sling load rigging, and helicopter rappelling in 3 phases.
Army Diver Badges show a soldier is officially qualified for Army diving, search and recovery, salvage, underwater construction, demolitions, and SOF combat diving. The Army has 2 families: Engineer Diver Badges for engineer diving tasks, and Special Operations Diver Badges for SOF combat diving and leading dive operations.
The Army Pathfinder Badge is awarded to soldiers who complete the Pathfinder course at Fort Campbell. Training and graded field training exercises cover advanced land navigation,
scouting, sling load rigging, helicopter landing zone planning and control, field air traffic control, and the management of parachute and aerial delivery operations.
The Army Mountaineering Badge is a special skill badge awarded to any service member who completes the Army Mountain Warfare School at Jericho, Vermont. It replaced the Ram's Head device in 2025.
The Army's Master Gunner Identification Badge is for soldiers who finish a tough Master Gunner course on a specific weapon platform, like tanks, Bradleys, Strykers, air defense, etc. A Master Gunner is the unit's top technical tactical expert on that system, advises the commander, sets standards, builds training, and runs live fire or gunnery so crews qualify correctly. The badge tells everyone this is the weapons expert to trust.
Drill Sergeant Identification Badge is for NCOs who complete the Drill Sergeant course and serve training new soldiers at basic training and OSUT.
The Army Space Badge is a special skills badge for soldiers who qualify as space professionals.
The Army Flight Surgeon Badge is worn by Army medical officers, physicians, physician assistants, and Army nurse practitioners who complete the Army Flight Surgeon primary course. The badge has 3 levels: Basic, Senior, and Master.
United States Aviator Badges. After the Air Force split off in 1947, the Army kept flying light planes and helicopters, so it created its own Army Aviator Badge, basically a modified version of the Air Force pilot wings.
The Army's aircrew wings are the Army Aviation Badge, which was renamed from the Aircraft Crewman Badge in 2000 with the change applied back to 1947. It comes in basic, senior, and master levels based on years of service and flight hours. The badge is awarded to soldiers in aviation military occupational specialties, including non-flying roles like aviation operations and air traffic control, so both flight personnel and some support personnel can earn it when on flight status. The Army astronaut device is a gold astronaut symbol worn on the Army Aviation Badge by Army aviators, flight surgeons, and aircrew who qualify as astronauts.
Master Combat Badges, the Master Combat Infantryman, Master Combat Medical, and Master Combat Action are the gold wreath versions awarded to soldiers who hold both a combat badge and the matching expert badge.
Naval Aviator. Officers who complete Navy flight school and tactical training to fly jets, helicopters, or tilt-rotor aircraft, including carrier takeoffs and arrested landings. Naval Flight Officer. Officers trained to run sensors, weapons, navigation, and mission systems, working with pilots to fight the aircraft and complete the mission. Naval Astronaut. Naval aviators or naval flight officers who fly in space, combining naval aviation expertise with astronaut service.
Naval Aircrew Warfare Specialist. Enlisted aircrew who qualify on a specific aircraft and crew position, proving advanced knowledge, check rides, and mission proficiency. Air Vehicle Pilot. Warrant officers certified to pilot Navy unmanned aircraft, demonstrating mastery of remote flight operations and mission execution. Enlisted Aviation Warfare Specialist. Enlisted sailors in aviation who master FOW squadrons and aircraft work, operations, maintenance, safety, and support, even without flying.
Flight surgeon, physicians trained in aviation medicine who care for aircrew and advise commanders on human performance and flight safety. Flight nurse, nurses qualified to provide critical care during aeromedical evacuation and flight operations from takeoff to landing. Experimental psychologist or physiologist, specialists who study human factors like stress, acceleration, vision, and workload to make flying safer and more effective.
Command at Sea, for commissioned officers between lieutenant and admiral, who are in command or have commanded a warship or an operational fleet air unit. Worn on the right while you're the commander. After your tour, it shifts to the left to show you're a former commander. Clear proof you carried full responsibility for crew, readiness, and missions.
Command Ashore, or Project Manager, for officers who are or have been the commanding officer of a naval installation or other shore-based command, or who led a major Navy program or project within the Naval Air Systems Command or the Naval Sea Systems Command.
Observer or flight meteorologist, specialists who fly to gather mission and weather data, guiding routes, forecasts, and on-scene decisions. Naval Aviation Supply Corps, officers who master aviation logistics, parts, fuel, maintenance support, and readiness pipelines that keep squadrons flying. Professional Aviation Maintenance Officer, officers and warrant officers who lead aircraft maintenance programs, ensuring technical quality, safety, and readiness.
Enlisted Expeditionary Warfare Specialist, for enlisted sailors in Navy Expeditionary Combat Units who qualify in field skills like weapons, marksmanship, land navigation, radios, and setting up expeditionary camps. Navy Expeditionary Supply Corps Officer, for Supply Corps officers who prove advanced expeditionary logistics knowledge while serving in operational shore or coastal missions. Explosive Ordnance Disposal Warfare, for personnel trained to find, make safe, and dispose of explosive threats including improvised devices and nuclear, chemical, and biological munitions, part of Navy Special Operations and dive qualified. Enlisted wear it as their main warfare device, and officers wear a gold version as their primary device.
Fleet Marine Force, for Navy personnel assigned to Fleet Marine Force units who complete marine-focused training in field skills, tactics, and support, earned by officers and enlisted with hospital corpsmen and religious program specialists common in these roles. The chaplain version of the badge omits the crossed rifles. Information Warfare Specialist, for sailors and officers who qualify in the Navy's information fields, intelligence, cryptologic operations, cyber operations, computer networks, oceanography, meteorology, and space support, showing you can collect, protect, and use information to help the fleet fight.
Special Warfare Combatant Craft Crewman, for enlisted boat operators who finish Special Warfare Combatant Craft training and serve on special boat teams. Strategic Sealift Officer Warfare, for officers who hold a valid United States Merchant Marine license for unlimited tonnage or horsepower and complete Strategic Sealift qualification. Submarine Warfare, Dolphins earned by officers and enlisted who qualify on every major system aboard a submarine and can stand critical watches, fight the ship, and handle damage control.
CB Combat Warfare Specialist, earned by sailors in Naval Construction Force or Amphibious Construction Battalion units. Special Warfare, SEAL Trident, for sailors who complete basic underwater demolition or SEAL training and are designated as Navy sea, air, and land operators on SEAL teams or SEAL delivery vehicle teams.
Surface Chaplain Officer Qualification Insignia, for Navy chaplains who complete Surface Community Qualification with skills in shipboard operations, readiness, and ministry at sea. Engineering Duty Officer, for restricted line officers who design, buy, build, repair, convert, overhaul, and retire Navy ships, submarines, aircraft carriers, and the complex systems on them. Integrated Undersea Surveillance System, for personnel qualified in long-range undersea listening and sonar surveillance systems, showing expertise in detecting and tracking submarines and undersea activity. Navy Security Force, for sailors and officers who qualify in base and force protection, mastering access control, patrolling, weapons handling, and incident response, with tiers of specialist, senior specialist, master specialist, and officer.
Parachutist, jump wings for completing basic parachute training. The naval parachutist version comes after 10 qualifying jumps and is common among SEALs, special boat crews, explosive ordnance disposal, and amphibious reconnaissance corpsmen. Small craft officer in charge, for officers or petty officers who command small combatant or patrol boats in rivers and coastal waters. Craftmaster, for enlisted leaders who command landing craft, air-cushioned craft, utility boats, tugs, and barges.
Submarine Combat Patrol, a World War II award for completing wartime submarine patrols, historic only and no longer issued. Ballistic Missile Submarine Deterrent Patrol, For submarine sailors who complete strategic deterrent patrols on ballistic missile submarines. Starts in silver and upgrades to gold after 20 successful patrols. Navy Diver. For qualified divers with levels for scuba, second class, first class, and master diver. There are also versions for diving officers and for medical personnel trained to dive and treat underwater emergencies.
Presidential service. For personnel who served in direct support of the President of the United States, marking trusted White House duty. Vice Presidential service. For personnel who served in direct support of the Vice President, showing high trust staff service. Office of the Secretary of Defense. For personnel assigned to the Secretary of Defense's headquarters, signaling top-level defense staff experience.
Joint Chiefs of Staff. For personnel assigned to the Joint Staff, showing service at the highest joint military headquarters. Command Senior Enlisted Leader. For Chief Petty Officers who serve as the top enlisted leader of a command, proof of senior leadership and crew stewardship. Recruiting. For sailors assigned to recruiting duty, recognizing expertise in finding and guiding new sailors into the Navy. Recruit Division Commander. For instructors who lead and train recruits at boot camp, showing excellence in building basic Navy skills and discipline.
Career counselor for sailors who guide career paths, reenlistments, and professional development across a command. Navy law enforcement for security forces, master-at-arms, and naval corrections personnel while serving in those duties. Naval Criminal Investigative Service for NCIS special agents as part of their credentials. It identifies federal investigators who protect the Navy from crime, terrorism, and foreign intelligence threats.
Marksmanship competition badges. Navy sailors and officers earn these by shooting official matches and collecting leg points toward higher awards. They cover rifle and pistol at fleet, inter-service, and national levels in gold, silver, and bronze, with top honors including Distinguished Marksman, Distinguished Pistol Shot, and the United States Distinguished International Shooter. Enlisted shooters who finish in the top 100 of the President's 100 match wear the President's 100 brassard, and Navy corpsmen serving with Marine infantry can also earn the Marine Corps' annual Rifle Squad badge. Some other badges are Surface Warfare Medical Corps, Surface Warfare Nurse Corps, Surface Warfare Dental Corps, Surface Warfare Medical Service Corps, Surface Warfare Supply Corps, Submarine Medical, Submarine Engineering Duty, and Submarine Supply Corps.